Hey, group leaders. Hope you're doing well today. And it's been a bit crazy trying to get this video done, but hopefully this one works and is good for you. I was talking with a friend last week, and he was telling me just about kind of some of the struggles he's having with figuring out some things in his life and wondering, is God there? Is he gonna guide him? Is he gonna give him clarity on what's next? Is he gonna help him get from where he is to where he needs to go? And even for him, is God going to help him figure out where he needs to go? And what I noticed with my friend was he was kind of in this loop inside of his head of just kind of stress and anxiety and almost freaking out that God wasn't going to show up. It got to the point, I feel like, and I told him this, that his stress and his worries were getting so much that they were going to overcrowd God's voice and his ability to hear God. Now, we can't stop God from speaking, but we can certainly hinder ourselves from being able to listen. He couldn't slow down enough. He couldn't sit still long enough to hear what God was wanting to say to him. I know I've been in those places. I know I've fought those battles and gotten angry at God that at times I felt like he wasn't showing up, but in reality, I was just running too fast and looping in my head that I couldn't slow down and listen and actually hear what he was saying. I couldn't breathe and give him some space to talk. And words of Psalm 46 come to mind, where the writer says, "Be still and know that I am God." There's actually 4 commandments in this whole set of Psalms, so I'm going to read at the end, which is really awesome. There's 4 things that the writer gives us to do. He says, first, we will not fear. That we can't be afraid. That fear of God not showing up, or fear of making the wrong decision, or fear of missing God, or fear of whatever, the enemy or anything else, that can get in the way of what God is doing. Next in verse 8 he says, come and see what the Lord has done. Sometimes the best thing to do when we're trying to figure out what's next, or when we're fearful, or when we're just lost, is to look back and see what God has done. And then in verse 10 he gives 2 more steps. Be still, slow down, listen, get rid of distractions. In the message translation, he says it as step out of the traffic. If you're in the middle of traffic, everything is chaos. The cars are zooming by and it's loud and it's noisy and it's hard to focus on anything except what's going on right around you. Be still. And then finally, know that I am God. Trust that he's in control, that he's faithful, that he is good. And sometimes that's difficult to do. But if we can do those other 3 things, trusting that he's in control, that he has a plan, becomes a lot easier. I want to read you these verses out of Psalm 46, and I'm going to read it slow. Now, Psalms is a book of poetry. It's not a book of lists and how to get through things. It's a book of poetry. And it's a story where we can slow down and hear what he's saying. If I was a better singer, I might sing it to you, because Psalm 46 is actually a song. But you probably wouldn't get anything out of it if I tried to do that. So let me read it for you and just receive this and hear what God would say to you this week about what's going on around you, about how you can slow down, and about how you can see him in the middle of everything that's happening. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear. Though the earth gives way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam and the mountains quake with their surging, there is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy place where the Most High dwells. God is within her, and she will not fall. God will help her at the break of day. Nations are in uproar, kingdoms fall, but he lifts his voice, and the earth melts. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Come and see what the Lord has done, the desolations he has brought on the earth. He makes wars cease to the ends of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns shields with fire. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress.